All right, we're getting into the horror movie villain slash monster icon tier list. Okay, the criteria for this is you have to be in at least two or more movies for me to put you into this. So no one-off movie villains are allowed here. On top of that, all these characters are pretty good, decent, or amazing. So the way I'm judging them is just by this collective group and where they compare to each other. It's not going to be like an icon versus some one-off person who's forgettable because they'd be F and that'd be S. So these are getting compared to each other. Okay? So what is considered like a B in this list could be an A plus overall in the world of horror. So don't take it personal if your favorite is like B. They could be A plus overall. It's just how this list is going to be situated. Okay? So we're going to do icons today and we're going to do franchises next week. So these characters are based off them individually, not their movies, not the products that they're made in, but them as an individual, what they do for their films, and how their lore slash character is developed or made. So movies are not into consideration right now. Next week we'll go over the movies and the franchises as a whole. So this is how we're doing it. We're going to go ahead and jump right in. We'll go ahead and start with Mick Taylor. Now, Mick Taylor is from Wolf Creek 1 and 2. He is a crazy guy from Australia. He gets people from vacations or if they're out of town in his area. He actually pretty much tortures them, kills them, does a lot of things. He's very, what's it called? Very charismatic of a character. I actually really enjoy him as a character, even though he's just a regular dude who's a good hunter, knows his area. Kind of the theme of him is he knows how to hunt, he knows the area, he knows how to manipulate people. He's very kind of like schizophrenic with how he talks and how he is. You never know what to expect out of him. But that being said, he is kind of just a person that's kind of crazy and as a hunter. There's nothing super, super special about him as a whole. I put him in C tier. He's not the most intimidating guy. He has no like fear factor to him. It's just he sets up these people who he can get. Like he tows somebody away in a truck. He works on their car, quote unquote. He poisons them and gets them like delusional and plays games with them, pretty much. So he doesn't have like this ultimate fear factor to him, this ultimate presence of aura to him. But I respect him enough to include him on this list. I enjoy his character as a whole. He's a solid C tier to start, but there's no wow factor there that makes me want to put him any higher. On to the next, we go to the puppets from Puppet Master. 1, 2, 3. There's a lot of movies to it. These things are interesting because they are puppets that are possessed by Nazi spirits and they hunt and kill people as dolls. Really funky, campy movie series as a whole. Pretty fun to watch, but not enough merit there for me to care too much about them. I put them on this list because they are kind of iconic in their own right. But yeah, honestly, overall, D tier. There's not much. They don't speak much. There's a guy who can control them, who you can argue is the main villain, but his screen time is very limited. The puppets, though, are fun and entertaining. The kills are entertaining. Very over the top. They're. I mean, come on. They're Nazi infused puppets. I mean, there's its own variety of value in that alone. But they don't do any. They're not scary. They don't do anything crazy. They have the element of surprise because they're puppets and toys. Like they're collective models. Like in their first movie, they kill people because no one expects them, and they're not super, super special. They're not scary in any way. Honestly, they're puppets. You can just grab them and they're done. But they are iconic in the puppet world of people who like puppet movies. They're in the D tier. They're kind of lackluster in terms of them by themselves. The movie plot as a whole makes them more entertaining and better. I don't give two shits, honestly, about them individually, but I had to put them on here because I don't want to hear people complain that I don't know ball when I know ball. I've watched the whole franchise. On to the next one, we will go with, I always mispronounce the name. I think it's like Kyaku or something like that. It's the girl from The Grudge. Or it's... This character is very bland to me. I think the overall story of the movie carries it a little bit better. I give, honestly, two shits about this character. Other than the weird fucking sounds that we all remember as a kid from this movie going... Oh. Like, no one gives a fuck anything else, dude. You're just a pale woman. You're a spirit that's under duress that fucking haunts people from this house. Who gives a fuck, man? Who gives a fuck? Honestly. You're going to the bottom of D tier where you kind of fucking belong. Your movies are... I'm not going to talk about movies because I will actually get into them later on. So we're going to leave this here. It did a lot for the Japanese horror franchise to kind of kickstart it off. This and Ringu, which we'll get to Ringu also later. Otherwise than that, the character is iconic for the fucking sound it makes. Not really as an intimidating presence. There is also a boy in this movie. I included the girl because it's kind of the main focus of the whole franchise. But honestly, who really fucking cares? Who really fucking cares? That being said, we'll go to the other one, which is Samara. And that's from The Ring. She's also in the Ringu. It's a totally different name. And believe it or not, they're different characters. One was killed by the mom. One was killed by the dad. One was like 19 years old. This one was like 12 years old in the American remake. So the storylines are actually different. The characters are actually different. But the premise of the movie is the same. Now, I will say Samara is so much more interesting because you're going to die in 7 days. And the tape you watch is very enthralling. Like, when I was a kid, I'd be scared to watch that because I figured if I watched it, even watching the movie, that I would get a phone call. So I'd close my eyes while the fucking tape played, and then I'd open it at the end because I was like, I don't want to fucking die watching this tape, even though it's a movie. Which becomes a theme in the laterness of the franchise to where it's a big broadcast of the whole fucking movie. So the character is really cool. The backstory is very well done. I enjoy Samara a lot. Her presence is really cool. The opening scene to Ring alone is so fucking insane. And the spin-offs that you get from Scary Movie, where Brenda's beating the shit out of Samara in the living room, iconic, dude. So it's like she transcends just horror. She's in a lot of other stuff. I really like her. I'm putting her in B tier. I put her in B tier because the sample size is a little small. Most of the movies is them trying to figure out how to get rid of Samara. But when she's on the screen, she's very, very fun to watch. I'm not going to put her higher in B because she's not like these other characters who get a lot of screen time. A lot of, what's it called? A lot of notion that you can kind of see and get from them. But Samara is a solid B tier contender. A very solid villain. And a very well done character backstory. I enjoy this character a lot. Alright, we're going to go on to one of the heavy hitters that are not really a heavy hitter. Because it's not a part of the big four, but it was around the same time. We'll go to Pinhead next, even though the franchise's villains are actually the Cenobites, but everybody recognizes the Pinhead because Doug Bradley did such a fantastic job portraying Pinhead. Now, the newer movie with the female Pinhead, she did a great job, but I'm going to focus on just Pinhead as a whole. Like, this character as a whole. That includes, like, these, like, 2015 remakes and stuff that, like I said, I'm not going to talk about the franchise, but it's whatever because it's not Doug Bradley. Um, but Pinhead is one of those characters that honestly was like one of my favorites to watch growing up. I was really, really like enamored with the character and the Cenobites, and honestly, Pinhead is like one of the strongest characters on this list. He doesn't get the power recognition he deserves. Absolutely fucking cranked on the power scale, Mark. He is insane, especially in his own world. Controls a lot of things. Pinhead Larry, whatever you want to call him. But Pinhead is insane. I like the Tesseract backstories. I like when you go to like Hellraiser 2 when it shows like their world. They go into that whole thing. It's pretty cool. The third movie is also a great one with Hell on Earth. You see a lot of stuff, but most of the movies center around Xenobites as a whole. It's not just Pinhead. So he's never the absolute main focus, even though we all know he's the main villain of the series. Even though he's part of a group, he's like the ringleader of that group. Not literally, but figuratively, we see him as the leader. He's not actually the leader. They all work together simultaneously. Pinhead, to me, is another B tier, and it's solely because he's not the main focus, or he's not the absolute end-all be-all villain. Like, there's other Cenobites in the franchise. Pinhead's cool as shit. Him doing the Tesseract and showing his backstory with him, I think, if I remember correctly, he was like in this like trench on like a war or something, or he was in a house or something, and like gets absorbed by the Tesseract power. And then it's a really cool backstory. His powers are off the charts. Doug Bradley as Pinhead is very, very charismatic. He controls the character very well, portrays it very well. But if I'm including him, I have to include the other Pinheads that are in the universe, and they're not as good, so it bumps him down from an A to a B. Now, we're not going prime portrayal of these characters. We're going overall everything they've ever been in, combined into one, and we're averaging it out. So therefore, he's going to be B tier. And again, B tier on this list means like A plus to S minus as a whole of the horror genre. So it's very respectful for him to be here. We appreciate you being here. Thank you, Pinhead. You were an awesome icon from the early times. Up next, we're going to go ahead. We're going to jump into what is a very cool but confusing franchise. And you see a lot of growth and things, but there's a lot of plot holes in this character. We're going to go to John Kramer. A lot of people know him as the Jigsaw Killer from Saw. John Kramer has an interesting backstory. It's very much built on. The guy who plays him, I forget his name a lot. I apologize. The guy who plays John Kramer is fantastic. He's very methodical in what he does. He has a plan. Pretty much like a super genius in a way when it comes to how he devises all this stuff and all the plot twists. If you haven't seen the franchises, there's a fuck ton of plot twists in this franchise, usually orchestrated by John Kramer. But he as himself is not intimidating. He as himself has a great, great backstory, a great lore to him, like the franchise has, but it's very convoluted. And the last Saw movie really kind of dilutes a lot of how this backstory works. So it confuses you when you learn him. For that, I'm going to put John Kramer above Mick Taylor just because the inconsistency in the franchises. Inconsistency in franchises is a little wonky. Him as a character is not the most intimidating, but his portrayal by the guy playing John Kramer, his charisma, the way he goes about things is very cool to me, very methodical. So he has an edge above getting out of D tier. A lot of people probably want John Kramer high. I don't see him as higher. I think the movies are more about the traps he designs or has help designing, which you see in the franchise. He has a lot of help from characters that you don't expect him to get help from. But John Kramer is also a very respectable character. It's just him as a villain / monster in a movie doesn't really get me entirely. I really watch the movies for A, the plot twist because there's a lot, and B, I like to see the devices or the trials that he puts people through, and it makes the franchise more entertaining. But him as an individual, aside from the lore that he has and the backstory, it's whatever. You don't really watch it for John Kramer. On to the next one. We're going to go ahead and go to somebody who might be the smartest person on this and might be the best portrayal of like an older icon villain. Might be up there as one of my favorite characters in horror. A lot of people count this as horror. I count this as horror, especially this character. We'll go to Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter is one of those few like individuals that is like very unsettling just to see on screen. You never know what he's up to. You don't know if he's actually trying to be a genuine person or if he's trying to literally kill somebody and eat them. How smart he is and how he outthinks everybody is second to none. He in the movie Silence of the... Alright, again, can't talk about a movie. We're doing that next week. I'll actually put his franchise in next week. But he is so insane. When he's on the screen, you're glued to the screen. In Silence of the Lamb, he doesn't get the most screen time, but when he's on it, he is by far the best fucking part of this movie. In The Red Dragon, he also is a good part of the movie. In Hannibal, or Hannibal Rising, insane. Even though it's not even the same guy playing him, the character is so well written, so well backstoried. It's so cool to watch. But we're going to give him a discount because he's not in the main thing of the movie. In Silence of the Lamb, he's not even the main focus. It's Buffalo Bill, Buffalo Bob. I always forget which one it is. And in The Red Dragon, he's not the main part of the movie. It's a different guy being a villain. So it gives him a discount, but him as a character is literally just A tier. A plus tier. He is a flawlessly written character. There is zero plot holes in this character. He's phenomenally written, phenomenally portrayed. His movies are, with him in it, the best parts of like a whole franchise. It's so fucking good. Hannibal Lecter is so great. I wish he had more presence in his time, or more presence and more time in the movies. Even though he does have a lot, he's A+, borderline S-. But compared to some of these characters / monsters, he's not as cool. He's not as scary. He's not as like fun to see on the screen compared to other things. So we're gonna put him in A+ category right now. We'll go on to the next one. We'll go to an early one of my favorites when I was a kid. As I got older, more movies came out and kind of honestly ruined the legacy of this guy. We'll go to The Creeper from Jeepers Creepers. Jeepers Creepers 1, Jeepers Creepers 2 made the Creeper look so cool and borderline unstoppable like a juggernaut. Absolutely so fucking fun to watch. But then you go to like Jeepers Creepers Reborn and then the Jeepers Creepers 3, and it really ruined him as a character with those movies. So he took a big L on 2 movies. So you're 50-50 on whether you're absolutely cranked, absolutely fucking cranking hogs on people, dude. You're absolutely a stud in your movie versus getting fucking cucked and it kind of like disappoints you later on in his career. But The Creeper is also based in Florida, so it's a big plus because Florida man and another Florida man, we have mutual respect. I love The Creeper in 1 and 2. One of my favorite monsters ever. That being said, he got cucked a lot. And since we're not going prime, we're going overall category. I am putting him right here, right above Samara. I like him above Samara. He gets way more screen time to show off his presence, but he does end up getting cucked later on in his career. He's like a guy who was like, he was like Derrick Rose, right? He was an MVP at his prime. Then he tore his ACL, and it was like, damn, it's kind of sad to watch right now. That's what happened to The Creeper, in my opinion. But we'll go on to the next. We'll go on to the next. We'll go to the Xenomorph from Alien. Xenomorphs was honestly like the most OP fucking monster ever when it first came out with Alien 1. You have a thing with like super heavy armor. It has a fucking mouth that protrudes that shoots through your fucking skull and kills you. You have a monster that's so fucking huge, but is so stealthy and quiet that it can sneak up on you. Imagine this fucking thing. Imagine a grizzly bear, but bigger, and also stealthy as a fucking tiger in a meadow with tall grass. Crazy combo. On top of that, it has fucking acid for blood. So if you do hurt it, it'll just melt through anything it fucking touched, dude. Xenomorphs are so fucking scary. Like, honestly, face huggers are also scary, which is part of the Xenomorph lifeline. Face huggers, chest bursters, Xenomorphs. Absolutely terrifying things, dude. If you watch Alien vs. Predators and they enter that fucking egg chamber and those people are just fucking got chest bursters on them while they're lurking in there, one of the scariest shits I could ever imagine being a part of. I think Xenomorphs, fear factor alone, might be the top of this list. If I saw any of these things, I give myself, if I get to arm myself the best to my capabilities, and I have to go 1v1 in there with I'm armed with everything I want, and they're unarmed, quote unquote, or they have their weapon of choice, Xenomorphs is the scariest fucking thing on this list. And for that, the fear factor alone and how well designed Xenomorphs are is our first S tier creature / villain. Give it up for the Xenomorph. Xenomorphs, you really earned it. One of the most well created, designed characters. I absolutely love Xenomorphs in any movie. On to the next. Let's go with Joseph from Creep. So this is the only time I'll allow like a series to be a part of this list, because Creep 1, Creep 2, and the Creep tapes are very much tied to the movies. The Creep tapes are tied to the movies very well. So I'll add it because I don't want to add like Chucky. I'm only doing movies. I'm not adding his series. For one, I didn't watch it. And for two, I don't want to add movie series to this stuff. So Joseph is very, very manipulative, very charismatic, very well spoken, a lot of brutal kills. And I do enjoy his like personality splits with the wolf mask and him as an individual. He has a lot of issues that can sometimes be kind of cringe to watch. Just watch the last episode of fucking Creep Tapes and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. For that, Joseph to me belongs right above John Kramer because he is the main focus. He is very charismatic, but him as a character alone, not including the movies as a whole and the franchise, him as a character is missing something to me, or maybe he's not missing anything at all. Maybe it's just the way the character is, and you're getting the max value out of it. But he has a lot of things that I just can't get behind. His fear factor is like kind of almost non-existent. The people just put themselves in situations to where he gets to play games with them. He gets to play with their emotions, gets to play with their anxieties, and kind of does it to them. Takes advantage of it. So I put him in C for that. He's very entertaining in the movies and what he does. So I give him C above John Kramer for that. And I can't really put him any higher. On to the Tall Man from Phantasm 1, 2, 3. I only watched the 3. I don't know if there's a 4th, but I watched 1, 2, and 3. Phantasm's like one of those like slept on horror franchises that not a lot of people watched. The Tall Man is intimidating, but Also, very hard to calibrate how you feel about him. Like, he commands a lot of stuff. His spheres with the drills on them that skull, like, go through your skull and skull fuck you to death with a drill. Insane. The other dimension that he can put people in, very fucking cool. Him as a character is unsettling, but not super intimidating. I feel like the orbs and stuff are more scary. But honestly, he's easy to avoid. He's easy not to get involved with. It's not something that really I care too much for as a character. The main thing I remember him for is saying, boy. So I'm going to put him in D right here. Because he has some presence. But honestly, if you didn't really watch Phantasm 1, 2, and 3, you would never even know who the fuck this guy is. You would never know anything about the Tall Man. This is just for people who know ball and are really interested in horror. So we're going to leave him in D tier. I feel like there's a lot of better characters in this list by far. A lot more iconic things by far that do more for their genre. But the Tall Man is not a total disgrace. I do enjoy him to a degree. Just not a lot. Not a lot, dude. You're just a tall old dude, pretty much. No one gives a shit about you individually. If somebody had to rank their top 10 horror characters, you're not sniffing the top 25. Okay? Just letting you know. But I appreciate you as an individual. On to the next. We'll go ahead and we'll go to one of the big hitters, one of the heavy hitters. We'll go to Leatherface. I know a lot of people want to see where these heavy hitters go. One of the Mount Rushmores of old school horror. Honestly, the first or second slasher, depending on how you look at it, between him and Halloween. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Leatherface's like debut, Leatherface was so fucking cool. So sick. Leatherface throughout the years could be a meme, honestly. The movies don't help him a lot, especially with the get 'em cuz kind of thing. But he is very intimidating when he's on screen. He's very intimidating because you can put yourself in some of these situations and you know you'd be scared. You got this hulking dude with a chainsaw who is somehow super fucking fast but has a club foot and super agile, very, very durable, can take anything you give him. But in the end, he's a dude with a chainsaw. If you just have a gun, you kill him. So, other than the initial shock factor of a dude running at you with a chainsaw, if you're just around somebody with a gun, you could kill him. Okay? But him as an icon, I love. So, I love Leatherface. If I had to make a top 8 to maybe top 6, he's in my top 6 favorites. I absolutely love this character. The thing is, he's not very well fleshed out. Now, there is backstory that shows a lot of the franchise. Shows him as a kid, how he becomes. Shows family stuff in other movies. And a lot of like why he is the way he is. So I appreciate the building on him. I like him a lot. But in the end of the day, he is just a B tier character, to be honest. The family does more to boost him, and the lore does a lot for him. But him as a character alone is top of B. Like I said, I like him a lot. But looking at this objectively and not from my personal bias, he's not higher than B plus A minus. He is not an S tier category. I don't want to put him with Hannibal Lecter. I think Hannibal Lecter is a way better character. And I have more A tiers coming that I think are better suited as A tiers than Leatherface. All right, on to the next. We'll go with Graboids by Tremors. I've watched every Tremors. As a kid, Tremors 1, 2, and 3, I watched on repeat. It was one of my favorite things to watch. The evolution of the Graboids is cool as fuck. Shrieker Island, you get to see a giant Graboid. And in Africa, they got the bigger ones. Alaska, that was a weird part of graboid history. But you got the ass blasters, bro. You got the walking graboids on the two legs. The base graboids are also just fucking sick, dude. Underground, stick out their tongues, little snake things, grab you, pull you down, and fucking eat your ass. I do like graboids a lot. I think they're terrifying because you can't see them. They're underground. Sure, you may hear the seismic vibrations, but they're fast as fuck. They grab you and sink you. You think that's scary? You get ass blasters who just fly and can kill you in an instant. You got the fucking ground troops who are also terrifying and hard to kill. It took Bert his whole fucking armory just to kill one graboid by himself. The shit's insane. Graboids are terrifying, and I don't care what people think about me doing this. Graboids are going in the top of A. Dude, they're so fucking entertaining. Whatever you think about the movie franchise, don't think about the franchise. Think about Graboids individually as a monster. Very, very well designed. The movie had Kevin Bacon in it, and everything was flawless on how Graboids worked, how terrifying they are. Graboids are insane. I don't want to hear that they're fucking over put in my tier list. You're wrong. They're absolutely outstanding. I will not take Graboid hate for a single minute. On to the next one. We'll go ahead and go to Annabelle. Next up on the list. Annabelle in the Conjuring universe. It's really just a demon next to the Annabelle doll. If you watch Annabelle 1 and 2, you'll see the demon in it. I don't really have much to say except for I don't give a fuck about Annabelle. So Annabelle as a doll for a casual, people are going to be like, oh, Annabelle is cool. If you're serious about horror and you know and you've watched all the movies, you'll know Annabelle. There's nothing super fucking special about Annabelle. The Conjuring universe has way better fucking demons in it, or spirits or entities, than Annabelle. Annabelle might be at the bottom of who gives a fuck. Okay? Annabelle's a doll with a demon attached to it. Sure, a lot of creepy shit happens, a lot of power happens, whatever. I don't give a fuck. There's way better things on this list than Annabelle the fucking doll. You're actually going to the bottom of D tier. Don't give a fuck, don't care about you, don't want to see you in a movie at all anymore. You're going to the bottom, you're going to stay there, and you're going to fucking like it. On to Valak, the other Conjuring universe demon, which is way fucking better than Annabelle, and is way better portrayed, way better story, way more menacing, way more scary as an actual villain. And the Nun and Conjuring, every time it's on the screen, it does something really fucking cool. It demands your attention when it's on the screen. Valak has good power, good stories, and you are glued to it when it's on the screen, has good jump scares, has great moments. That being said, I think it could be done better. I'm going to put Valak right below Leatherface in B tier. There might be a lot of B tiers in this just because it's hard for me to put some things in S and A, but they deserve to be above C for sure. Valak deserves some respect though. It honestly, that I didn't put the lipstick demon in this because I feel like it deserves more time to be prospered. But Valak helps carry this whole Conjuring universe by a lot. On to the next. We'll go with another heavy hitter. We'll go with Jason Voorhees next. So Jason Voorhees has a fuck ton of movies. A lot of movies. I'm pretty sure Friday the 13th has the most movies as a whole out of all these characters. He's not even the main person in his first movie, so you have to judge it pretty much from the second movie and on to get the full respect or knowledge of Jason Voorhees. There is a weird stint where some dude eats his heart and then transfers his like soul into him, and that's a weird fucking time frame. But my favorite portrayal of Jason Voorhees is actually in two of the movies. It's either Freddy vs. Jason. Take the movie out of the equation. Just look at how Jason is in that movie. A fucking juggernaut. Super fucking scary. Mows through people. He has been to space, of all things, by the way. And then, on top of that, Jason in the remake, I think it was like 2013. Maybe later. I think it was 2013 or 2016. That Jason Voorhees was also super fucking cool and menacing. Jason's on the Mount Rushmore of icons for a lot of people. He has a lot of like weird things to him, to where he's been revived from lightning on an electric pole, a bunch of like witchcraft and stuff. He's been to hell, he's been to space, he's been fucking super juiced up with a mech thing. Jason Voorhees as a whole deserves to be an S tier, not GOAT. I'm putting him above the Xenomorph. Jason is so just fucking entertaining, dude. He grabs your attention, dude. His kills are always either brutal or like a unique thing. He has a kill where he puts a girl's face in cryogenic, rises it up and smashes it, and it destroys itself. Grabs a dude in a fucking, or girl, in a fucking sleeping bag, bashes them into a fucking tree. He hangs somebody in a sleeping bag over a fire and lets them burn to death. Dude, he actually has some of the coolest kills for horror movie people. He's very menacing. He becomes pretty much, a lot of people call him a Deadite. He could be a Deadite. I didn't put Deadites on this list because it's too vague. There's a lot of shit there. But Jason Voorhees is super, super intimidating, super entertaining. He has a very well done design. You see that machete, you know exactly who the fuck he is. Jason Voorhees is fucking cranked, dude. Deserves to be an S. Give it up for Jason Voorhees. Really fucking cool character. Very well written. A lot of backstory, a lot of lore. It also does get confusing once you look into his lore. But he's also in comics and shit. Really cool character. I enjoy him a lot. Deserves to be an S tier. Up next, we're going to go to my personal favorite faction. And like I said, I have to be unbiased with these lists. I try to give people the knowledge of something that is true, no false advertisement, no false information. The Firefly family is my favorite group of people in movie history. Like, if it comes to favorites, this would be S+ tier. This would be GOAT category. You got Cap Spaulding, you got Otis Firefly, you got Baby Firefly. I'm just doing those three. The family is bigger. But this is my favorite trio / group in all of horror history. It's cool watching the transition of how Otis is portrayed from House of a Thousand Corpses to the Devil Reject. And then he also develops the character even more from Devil's Rejects to Three from Hell. Captain Spaulding in House of a Thousand Corpses and Captain Spaulding in the Devil's Rejects is insane. One of my favorite portrayals ever. Baby Firefly from House of a Thousand Corpses to the Devil's Rejects. Cool improvements. And then into Three from Hell gets a more demonic / unhinged side to her. So you see the development of these characters. I very, very, very much enjoy these people. They are so fucking cool. But it also falls into the same category of Leatherface, where it's like, just kill them. Honestly, the Devil's Rejects should have been the last movie, because there's zero fucking way they should have lived the end scene at all. They got lit the fuck up by a whole police department and a car just driving straight at them getting shot. They got shot a fuck ton, by the way. The fact that they lived, no fucking clue. The fact they don't have permanent injuries, no fucking clue. I'm not going to question it because I do enjoy it. That being said, they are, and it hurts me to do this, they're the top of B. And the reason they're the top of B is because they're just normal people. The fear factor is that they're just crazy and unhinged. Okay? That's the fear factor. They are arguably the top 3 most charismatic on this list. Whenever you watch them, you like them a lot. But there's just shit you don't fucking understand. Okay? Objectively speaking, you just don't understand how the fuck this shit happens. How they're still alive. How people fall for their shit. Like, I don't get it. Okay? I don't question it because I watched this movie as a fan and I just let the movie unfold before me. And I don't care what happens in it. I'm just having fun. Looking at it from not having fucking super biased eyes, they're not super, super special other than the characters are well portrayed by the actors. They're very well written. There's not a lot of lore to them. They're just fucking psycho killers and a family of psychos, and they're unhinged. But that being said, like I said, they are my absolute favorite. But I'm trying to be unbiased here, and that's what I can give you. It hurts me to do that. It hurts me a lot to do that. On to the next one. We'll go to Chucky. Okay? Chucky is a villain who has a lot of voodoo stuff to him. A lot of weird shit, like in Seed of Chucky. Really fucking weird. I don't understand it. It is what it is. The character is very well portrayed by the actor. He has a lot of lines. He's fun to watch on screen. But I just can't get behind it, you know? Like, I understand the people like him because of the campiness of some of the movies. The fear, he was the original fear factor of a doll coming to life and killing somebody. Like, I get the fear factor of that for like kids and stuff. But when you grow up, you realize he's not super fucking strong. He has like voodoo powers, a lot of magical powers, but he's a doll and he just goes off of like stealth and uses his size and surprise advantages. I don't understand it. It's one of those characters that I just don't care for. I never really was fond of Chucky. Bride of Chucky is probably my favorite Chucky to watch. I kind of enjoy like the whole thing of it. I enjoy Seed of Chucky just because it fucking doesn't make sense, and I love unhinged movies. Chucky as a character for me is probably here above Samara just because he has a lot of screen time. He makes the most of it. I get the charismaticness of him. I just don't care for him as a character, dude. I really don't. And like some people may differ on that, or maybe different on that. I don't want to give on it, dude. It's just a fucking doll with a dude who does voodoo magic inside of it, and he loses to a child. And I can never forgive him for that. On to the next one. We have... Now, this is the only time that I have two things on this list that I'm going to generalize. Werewolves and Wolfman, I consider kind of the same thing. So horror movies with werewolves, or a werewolf, or a wolfman, that's going to be the same thing to me. Okay? I feel like that the wolfmen and werewolves can be very cool. My favorite portrayal of werewolves is actually in Underworld. I think Underworld does werewolves the best. They're the coolest looking werewolves at that. That and maybe Van Helsing werewolf was kind of cool. But Underworld werewolf is peak. I never cared for it, dude. Like, I never cared for it. I love creatures. Creatures tend to be my favorite horror movies. Like, well done creatures and designs arguably are my favorite. This is the one I can never really care for. Like, I like that it's a cool monster. It's like a fucking wolf-human hybrid with a lot of agility, endurance, strength, savagery, all that. I like the concept. I've never cared for a lot of the designs that come out of it. I hate that a silver bullet kills it, so killing it's really fucking easy to do. But I do respect it a little bit. And the fact that it takes like a full moon in a lot of the movies for them to be werewolves kind of hinders your fucking power level a little bit. What stopped me from killing you as a human like the other fucking 3 or 2 weeks out of the month? Like, I don't like that it takes a certain situation for this thing to come out. Why can't it be something like a fucking giant ass fucking crocodile that's always around killing people? Or, I don't know, literally anything else on this list that doesn't have to have a specific fucking day to be powerful. So, for that, the inconsistency of it, the plot hole of it, I'm putting Werewolves and Wolfman at D tier. I just absolutely hate that it takes literally a full moon for you. I hate how your weakness is a bullet, the most commonly ready thing in the whole fucking world, in all of the United States. Everybody has a fucking gun. You're telling me I just have to have a silver one to get you? Makes no fucking sense. Are you seeing the issues I have here? The whole fucking plot hole of this thing. I can kill you as a human any day of the week. You turn into a werewolf randomly when there's a full moon. I can shoot you with one of like the 12 guns I have in my house. Or I can stab you with a fucking silver knife. Boom. You're fucking dead. Congratulations, dude. You're so OP. On to the next. We'll go to a character that when I was a kid, for some fucking reason, scared me the most. I watched every horror movie as a kid. I'm talking about from like ages 4 to 8. This particular character scared me more than anything else. We'll go to Leprechaun. Leprechaun, I watched all the movies. Now, very, very, very campy movies. Leprechaun Back to the Hood, the title's all you have to know about it, okay? Leprechaun terrified me as a kid. Just, there's a scene where he is in a fucking nursing home and just comes across in a fucking, like, tricycle and drives a tricycle next to a car going like 60 miles an hour. There's a scene where he puts a pot of gold in a guy's stomach and watches the whole stomach explode. Okay? This shit was fucking haunting to me as a kid. The character portrayed by, I want to say it's Warwick Davis. I'm pretty sure that's his name. I want to double check real quick because that one's pretty important to me because I really do enjoy this character. Yeah, Warwick Davis. Warwick Davis is the guy who plays Leprechaun. He does a lot of good work. Leprechaun's very fun to watch, dude. He has like a lot of like rhymes. He's very joking about it, which is hard in a lot of horror films to get a joking, not serious character along with like making him so fucking menacing and terrifying. It's hard to get those two together without thinking this guy's a fucking joke. Okay? The magical powers that Leprechaun has is insane. How he goes about killing people? Fucking crazy, dude. He made a guy walk into a fucking fan and off himself. Absolutely fucking crazy. I love Leprechaun. I think that, movies aside, just the character is one of like the coolest things. And I think Warwick Davis made this character pop even more. I think the way that this character was written was so fucking cool and so fucking amazing. Leprechaun's only struggle is that sometimes it doesn't make sense with how things go about. He literally got trapped in a crate because a 4-leaf clover was on top of it, which is not that cool, but I guess the plot armor does it. But I do put Leprechaun right here next to Graboids. I think Leprechaun's one of the most underrated characters, one of the most forgotten about characters, because maybe the movies aren't viewed as very good, so people discredit him as a character. But if you look at it on the outside, looking in, just the character alone, it's very, very, very fun to watch. Very menacing, very terrorizing of a character. Like, there's nothing you can do to beat Leprechaun if you had a random encounter. Which, I mean, a lot of these you have random encounter too, you're going to die. But even if you, like, had a fucking Glock on you, a steel coated vest or fucking chainmail. I don't fucking know. You're dead. You're dead, and he's just gonna make jokes about it the whole time he's fucking killing you. I do love this character. I love how much of a menace he is. I love how much of a shit talker he is. Absolutely fun. Absolutely terrifying. A really, really well written character. He's just not there to put into the S tier category. On to the next. We'll go to Candyman. R.I.P. my man. Tony Todd, who played Candyman. This is a very well written character, and a lot of people forget that the whole like Bloody Mary thing and the Candyman thing in the mirror was like almost one and the same. The movies are kind of weird. Kind of weird to realize how it's going. The remake wasn't as good as the original, in my opinion. But Candyman is very straightforward. I enjoy his backstory. I enjoy why he does the things he does. In the end of the day, he's kind of like a whatever character. I'm putting him above Mick Taylor. I do enjoy him as a character, but he doesn't do a wow factor for me individually. Like I'm sure he does for a lot of people. A lot of people probably like him more. This is like one of those ones where I just don't see it. I try to see it unbiasedly through scopes that aren't my own and try to like visualize like what is great here. I think the portrayal is better than the character itself, if that makes sense. Like if anybody else played this character, it would be lower on the list. But I think Todd's portrayal of him and his personal like how he encompasses this character makes it better than what it is. That's how I view this character. On to the next. We'll go with one that I'm sure not a lot of people know about, but I'm going to go with Bughuul from the Sinister franchise. Bughuul is a very terrifying entity because it plays on like a fear that you don't know you have until like you have a family or you have kids, and then you start to think about it and it fucking creeps you out, dude. Like imagine this guy, this demon, this entity just talks to your kids and gets them and possesses your kids and brainwashes them. And you as a parent are unaware of it. You think they're just going through like this weird phase because you're not going to think a demon is fucking controlling your child. And while you're asleep or while something happens, your kid literally kills you and your entire family. And you would never think anything of it because it's your kid. That is a weird fear that you didn't know you had until you watched Sinister 1 and 2. This guy is so fucking creepy on the screen. He's so fucking intimidating to see whenever he's on the movie screen. And he's so well designed. It's such a simple design, but Bughuul is so cool to see. I really, really enjoy this guy. I love what he does on the screen. He don't even talk. It's just the way he moves. The way he like has this weird aura about him that is unsettling but gravitating. Like you want to watch him, but you also don't want to fucking see him. Like Bughuul is so fucking cool. I feel like he deserves to be like right about here. I think center of B tier is really cool for Bughuul. Rhymes did that on purpose, not really, but I don't know, dude. Something fucking about this guy, man. Something fucking about this entity and how he does shit is so fucking weird, but like the good weird. It's like you look at something gross, but you can't look away because you're like, damn, that shit's fucking weird. But I gotta make sure I'm seeing it right and I remember it forever. Bughuul is just, I don't know, he's a unique character and I really like him. Alright, on to the next. We'll go to Dracula. We'll go to all the forms of Dracula, like Bram Stoker's all the way to fucking Renfield. all the way to Van Helsing, even though it's not even a horror movie. It's more of like an action movie. But you can classify it somewhat as horror, I guess. Like all the Draculas. Okay? You can even go to fucking Dracula from Billy and Mandy, where he's scraping lick. So, Dracula is weird because, like, I feel like vampires as a whole are cooler and more entertaining to watch than just Dracula. But even in, like, Blade with Dracula, that was like a cool version of Dracula. Like, he just doesn't do it. I realize why he's scary in, like, the older movies back in those days. Because he can, like, he has a lot of weird powers that people don't realize about him. Like, fucking controlling people. And I don't know, man. Like, there's nothing really about him. It's hard to be scared of somebody whose worst fear is fucking going outside in the daytime. You know? Somebody who can't eat at Olive Garden because of the garlic. I don't really understand the biggest hype about him. Dracula to me is like right here, man. Like no one really gives a fuck about Dracula. Vampires as a whole, way cooler, way scarier. But I'm doing Dracula in specific because he is the icon of that whole genre. So he belongs in D tier. Don't give two shits about him. You're outshined by people that are quote unquote below you on the power level. I can't get it. Can't get behind it. Alright, we're going to go to Pennywise. Now, I have a cat who I named Pennywise. Literally because of this character. I think Pennywise is one of those few, very, very few characters that have been portrayed by two people, and both people fucking killed it, dude. Absolutely destroyed how fucking good this character was made. Okay? You can go back to the old days with Tim Curry, and you can go to the new one with Skarsgård, and they're both portrayed so well. The way he plays on the fear of the children, the way he does the kills, everything about him, super menacing. I love how playful the character can be while also being so sinister that his playfulness is just unsettling and not funny anymore. It's like, this guy's fucking dancing, but at the same time, I'm sure he's about to turn into an 80-foot tarantula and fucking bite my head off and kill me. All at the same time while he's dancing. So, I want to put Pennywise in S. So I'm going to actually do it, dude. I was borderline thinking about putting this guy in A+, but I think he's such a unique character with how he taunts people, how he goes about killing people, how he preys on, like, the fears of kids. The movies really do a great job portraying this man as a straight up, just fucking savage troll, if that makes sense. He literally trolls kids and then eats their souls. Absolutely insane. Then you figure out he's this fucking interdimensional being, alien thing, that shocks the whole fucking world. I don't get it, but this thing is so fucking great. My cat's named after him for a reason. I absolutely love him. I love everything about him. On to a very, very, very controversial take, in my opinion. And I don't think people are going to feel the same about this. But just hear me out when I talk about this. We're going to go to Ghostface next. Ghostface, to not just me, but objectively, you gotta think about this. Ghostface is technically like 6 fucking different people. Okay? And it makes no sense. Okay? He is literally like, there's always a plot twist on who Ghostface is in every fucking movie. And he gets shot like 8 times and he's just a normal dude and dies. Like, other than him just being like an element of surprise, he's just a dude running around in a suit with a knife. Like, again, take the movie out of the equation. Take all the movies out of the equation. Just the character by itself. What do you see? You see one of 6 to 7 people in a suit with a knife. That's it. That is it. That is all it is. That is all this fucking character is. The Mask is cool. He revamped the slasher genre of the movies. He became a horror icon because of the movies. Him as an individual is zero thing special. Absolutely nothing special. He's a stalker with a knife. He is multiple people because somebody just wants to copycat kill. So technically speaking, he's not even one singular person. He's multiple people. He's not like Jason, who is the same person and is unstoppable and is there in every franchise. He's just a random fucking person, whether it be a girl or female, because there is a female Ghostface. And I cannot get behind it, dude. He's not as charismatic as people want him out to be. Honestly, the Loomis Ghostface from the first movie is the best. It's the best, and after that, it takes a downward spiral to fucking who gives a shit. I will give him the bottom of C tier because he's not as bad as the things in D tier. Not as bad. And it's really carried because of the first movie. The first movie really peaked him. But people who think Ghostface is S or A, you're wrong. It depends on the Ghostface you pick. And since we're putting all the Ghostfaces together and averaging out the score, you're a fucking C-. That's where you belong. You're very forgettable because no one even knows, unless you know ball and you watch horror movies, no one even knows who Ghostface is. You can't name fucking 3 of them. And guess what? That's not even half of the people who play Ghostface. On to the next. We'll go with Art the Clown. Art the Clown. This is by far my favorite horror movie character. He is my number 1 horror movie character. Not even close. There's not even a close second. Again, I have to look at this unbiasedly. Art the Clown doesn't say a word. Art the Clown, he's a demon, which you didn't know until like the second or third installment of the movie. Honestly, you would know by the second because of the end credits of the second movie. And they have to have a special sword to kill him. Either way, Art the Clown has the number 1 most brutal over-the-top kills from any horror icon on this list. It is number 1. Dude, the bisecting scene, the shower scene, the fucking bedroom scene. Those are the 3 scenes alone that tells you this guy is on a fucking different level. He's the only slasher who pulls a gun out and shoots somebody. Everybody else resorts to blades, knives, instruments, stuff like that. Art doesn't say a word and is somehow one of the most entertaining characters ever. Don't know how. Just fucking cranked. He's portrayed amazingly. His lore is getting built through the newer movies. He can be scary, but really that's not what he's intended to do. He wants to be playful while he's killing you and laughing about it, which could be scary in its own right, especially when you find out he's a demon. All this good shit. Art the Clown, being my number 1 favorite slasher, deserves to be at the top of this. Dude, he has no flaws in his game in terms of how he's portrayed is perfect. The kills that he can do are perfect. He's supernatural with a lot of the shit that he can do. Like, he doesn't really die. We're going to see what happens in the next Terrifier movie, especially because it's going to be the last one by how they're talking about it. But he's just so fucking entertaining. The only problem I have with Art is that, you know, I really don't have a problem with Art. I'm putting him at S+ tier, borderline GOAT tier. He's my personal GOAT, but I'm looking at this unbiasedly as possible. He's my personal GOAT. He's S plus because I have somebody that I'm gonna put in GOAT tier that I value the character as a whole way more. On to Predator. Predator, if you take all the movies and encompass it down to the average, Predator is my favorite creature in all of horror. I think Predator is like the best design thing. And I can't put my finger on the design itself. He's a super sleek humanoid alien that has all the tech in the world. He has an honor code about him. The whole civilization has lore. My favorite Predator is Wolf. A lot of people don't know who that is. He's a certain Predator that I really fucking love. He's my favorite Predator by far. But they have a code that they all follow. And I enjoy that code. But if you're like, kind of dying of like cancer or something, he's not going to kill you. If you kill one of them, you're honored among their people. And unless you watch the newest movie, that didn't add up. That should not be canon. But Predators are so fucking cool, man. I love their sounds they make. I love how they're portrayed in all the movies. I love the warrior type aspect of them. They're my favorite creature in all of horror. I'm putting them above the Xenomorph. And they honestly go hand in hand. Xenomorphs and Predators should always be next to each other in anything you do. They're absolutely fucking cranked. Okay? Cranked. On to the next. We're going to go to Hatchet. Well, Victor Crowley is the guy from Hatchet. Victor Crowley. It's a new age slasher. It came a little bit before Terrifier, but I think it came after All Hallows Eve. There's a lot of movies, or a lot of episodes in the franchise. Victor Crowley is another one of those things to where it's like Jason, to where you have to be in his element for him to get you. Like Camp Crystal Lake versus, it's like the swamps in Louisiana. I don't fully remember the exact thing, but he died over there. Victor Crowley also has some over-the-top fucking kills. Honestly, Victor Crowley is just Jason Voorhees, but with a hatchet and no mask. Victor Crowley is literally just a clone of Jason Voorhees in terms of how he goes about things. Very overpowered guy. Died as a child in a house fire, but instead of drowning. Super, super physically strong and imposing. Pretty agile. Uses a hatchet instead of machete. Very, very much similar. I'm going to discredit him for them trying to knock off the Jason narrative. His backstory is not the best. The movies don't do the best portraying him on what he is. He has a very menacing presence, though. And his newer age, he's fun to watch. I'm going to put Victor Crowley at the top of C. It's kind of where he belongs. I do enjoy him. All right, we have 3 things left to judge. 3 things left to judge. Okay? We are going to go to Michael Myers. Michael Myers and Leatherface innovated the slasher films. Literally invented the whole thing. Started it off. Michael Myers has lived the test of time to where even his newest movies portray him as a monster other than the Halloween Ends, which makes Michael Myers look like a fucking bitch, dude. Michael Myers in Halloween Ends is the worst portrayal that you could do to somebody. It really fucking hurt him there. But in all the other movies, the dude's a juggernaut. This is the GOAT to a lot of people. This is like number 1 status. This is what horror icons dream of being, is Michael Myers. I think Michael Myers deserves to be right here. Michael Myers is a classic. I put these two tied. Just because I put him behind art, don't mean he's actually behind art. They're tied. I personally biasly put Art above Michael Myers. That's why this is the way it is. But they're both S+. Michael Myers is the literal embodiment of evil. He is literally unstoppable. His kills are brutal to the max. There's no thoughts in his head other than just pure evil. Unless you get to, like, you see his like, kinfolk storyline with, like, the fucking mental links that you get later on. That's different. But overall, Michael Myers is so fucking savage, it's crazy. He deserves to be literally at the top. He earned being on the Mount Rushmore. No one can ever argue that he's not a Mount Rushmore character, and the presence of him is unlike anything else. 2 characters left, and as we know, I always do the GOAT first, and then I go on my rant about the bottom. Freddy Krueger is by far, not by far, let me take that back. Freddy Krueger is the GOAT. He is the GOAT of horror characters. Now, we're not talking about movies, we're talking about the character as a whole. He is the first slasher that was vocal, because you had Leatherface, Michael Myers. They were not vocal people. They just silently kill you, maybe make some grunts here and there because they get hit. Freddy Krueger is the OG fucking shit talker, dude. This is the man who taunts you, laughs at you, takes your tendons out, walks you over a ledge, makes you jump off and die. This guy is second to none when it comes to shit talking characters. By far, also, the person who played a character best is Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. He is the best portrayal of anybody else on this list. There is nothing that comes close to Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger has amazing kills. His power in the dream world's insane. And imagine this. You have to stay awake the rest of your life, or Freddy kills you. Guess what? Impossible, you're gonna go to sleep. Freddy's gonna fucking get you. He has a song that children sing dedicated to it. His lore's rough. He has lore. It's just rough because it's hard to get behind a guy who's kind of a pedophile. But on top of it, this guy is so fucking entertaining, so fucking charismatic, so evil, so much of a perfect villain. You have to hate him, but it's impossible. You want to see Freddy on the screen. He's a perfect icon in every aspect of the situation. He is perfectly portrayed. He is perfectly... He carries himself with such a way that it is unparalleled to other things. And the fact that he is just so charismatic and shit-talking is what puts him above the other people. Some of these characters don't have to speak. That's cool. But guess what? Freddy Krueger talking makes it a lot fucking better. Alright. On to worst shit in movies, man. This is the worst shit in movies, man. This is the category. And we're talking about zombies. Zombie movies. I'm not going by shows. So we're not going by Walking Dead or The Last of Us zombies, because those don't exist in this realm. We're going by movies. What the fuck is so scary about zombies? You shoot them in the head, decapitate them. You can hit them with a fucking baseball bat in the head. They just walk at you. The things about zombies is that there's a lot of them. Throw a fucking grenade in there. Just get a gun and mow them down, dude. It's not hard. They literally get beat by quarantine. These guys are just COVID monsters, pretty much. Zombies are so fucking boring to watch, dude. You're telling me the movie is you as an individual watching people, things that can't even think. They have no brains. Just walk at you at a slow walk. It's not even a brisk walk. They're literally just fucking limping at you, slow as fuck. And you're supposed to be scared? Dude, you're watching some fucking dude cracked out on fucking, I don't know, like fucking Fent, halfway dead, just walking at you slowly. Have you ever seen Shaun of the Dead? And they just toy with a fucking zombie walking at them slowly? That's literally fucking zombies, dude. They're not scary. They're not scary at all. Nothing about them is terrifying. Like, I can literally just get up a tree stand, pull the ladder up, safe. Safe. They can't fucking kill me, dude. You're trying to tell me zombies are more scary than Xenomorphs, the Leprechaun, Michael Myers? Fuck no, dude. These guys are boring as fuck. The movies are boring as fuck. I tried to watch Night of the Living Dead. I did watch it. Finished it. But when I say try, I tried to enjoy it. That shit was so fucking mind-numbingly boring to watch zombies in that shit. I've tried to watch The Walking Dead. I know I wasn't talking about TV series, but that shit's so fucking boring because of zombies, dude. Zombies are by far the worst shit in all of movies. The only zombies that I've ever actually thought were terrifying was World War Z zombies. Those things are fucking terrifying. If all zombie movies were like World War Z zombies, I'd fucking get it. They might be S tier, but they're not. I don't know why only one movie did it like that, but there's nothing special about zombies. Honestly, there's more to hate on zombies. I think they're fucking dog shit. Okay? I fucking hate them. And I'm not talking about the movies because 28 Days Later is actually a good movie. But zombies fucking suck. Okay? Not talking about the movies, talking about just zombies as a whole. Zombies fucking suck, dude. But yes, this is the final and the perfected list of horror movie villains and icons that had to have at least made appearances in 2 or 3 or more movies. Okay? No one-offs. This is it. This is a perfected list. I thank you for your time, guys.